In this interior here, by the way, you will also see red contrast stitching. In the Sportback interior, you will see that you have like fitting green contrast stitching, just that you already see then that you can match the exterior paint and the interior stitchings. And by the way here, already good information, the lamination for the front windows, not in the rear, but for the front. And quick info here on the driver's side. This is here the electric charging flap, 11 kilowatt AC charging. And on the other side, passenger side, is then the fuel cap. And here the fuel cap, you have to release then from here inside of the door. This is not covered, by the way, sadly. So that's just a rubber pad in the lower part. Here then some microfiber covering, and we have once again this camouflage carbon here. This inside door panel has been criticized a lot. I do share this view, the criticism view, because you see it collects a lot of fingerprints, and it's also sometimes in a way when you're like on the way to grab the door handle from the inside. Bang & Olufsen sound system right here. The top part is also like somewhat soft leatherette. Then the RS entry badge, and you also have the RS floor mats, and you also can get fitting interior stitching here to the exterior, as you can see, for example, right there. It always comes with RS sport seats. You can see them right here. Base in Europe and some other countries would also be that you have fabric on the inside, which is of course a little bit more breathable. This is then the optional animal skin, and it will also be standard for the North American market, because the North American market doesn't want anything else. And that's why also I say that Audi should offer high-grade leatherette, because that is then used on all markets, because some markets don't want fabric or microfiber seats. I'm a fan of fabric and microfiber seats, but the world solution then would be rather if you use a high-grade leatherette like BMW is using, because everyone is then happy with that, also quality-wise and from wiping and so on. The comfort here, yeah, these are a little bit sportier, but because they have like this shoulder support, they also take weight off your lower back. So overall, they offer good comfort, so good ergonomics of the seat. And you can get here, is actually would be also standard, the steering wheel in microfiber, and always with a 12 o'clock marking as well. So that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I still applaud them for making this car animal-free from the base version, at least for the European plus some other markets. So then the rest is a market decision, basically. And then here you have shifting pedals. They're also nice with these cutouts, for example, and the steering wheel itself. Oh, that's a surprise. Look at that. So usually, you know, they have this one button field, capacitive, they have clicking feedback, but now they are bringing back the scroll wheels, and they even scroll clicking sound. Listen to that. Ah, interesting. So they listen to your and our feedback, and now we have some, because before it was like also like sliding up and down, and then you were sometimes missing what you were doing in the instruments and so on with the volume. Here it's really easier now to go volume down and up again. So yeah, good decision. And you have another boost button for maximum performance, and RS button on the right side. This is how you can easily change the driving modes between then the balanced mode, which would then drive electric first until 0. And then here, when you are in the RS mode, it keeps the battery status for the maximum performance also long term. This would be the main difference. There will also be the mode RS Torque Rear, which is only for racetrack use, they say, because this then, you know, gets you into the drifting game. Welcome to the cockpit. This is the key fob here, by the way. Slim, nice and light, and RS badge at the rear. And then the screens here, they consist of 12-inch instruments, 14.5 infotainment, and 11-inch passenger screen. This is also standard actually for the RS model here. And for what you want to use, yeah, with that, I don't know. For example, when we are on the racetrack together, then Leah, for example, can record a video here and check out the lap time or something like that. Then here, microfiber insert for the dashboard. That looks nice and produces a little bit of high gloss black, which we have still plentiful here. The whole middle console is covered in high gloss black, which is not my favorite, honestly. Cool that we still have the manual volume jog right here, you know. And in the front part, 2 USB-C chargers. Inductive charging is also with cooling. That's cool. literally. Here you can also press if you want to drive EV only, maybe like if you reached your neighborhood and you don't want to wake up the neighbors.
But sometimes
Or
you
if you want to wake up your neighbors. Decide for yourself. And then here the glove box. Here also falls down really slowly. It's nicely dampened. You have this here this decor element here, and then in this case with camouflage carbon at the side. It's hard though, you know. So I would prefer maybe also on top here also microfiber. They have here the microfiber pads though. Here in the lower part, that's good. It's also a little bit padded underneath. So when you let's say like with your calves. This is then soft also, like when you drive, you know, racetrack fast and so on. Yeah, it's interesting because your calf first hits this area and not the hard area there. That's actually good. So yeah, that's good design that works with visual part and also the functionality. That's cool. Then some ambient lighting integrated here instead of the cup holders. You also have here the 4-dot adaptation. That's a good thing. 8-speed automatic converter. And then here, microfiber padding, nice soft for your elbow, and some more space underneath actually. So it's a good racing position. Of course, you can argue about like the huge bezels here also. Let's take a close look there. And once again here, the steering wheel, and a close look here at the new jog wheels. Yeah, Mercedes also moved back to these because car customers want them. Then here, you can see it's kind of like something would be missing in the lower part, right? So it's too much black, I would say, but that's cool. We have the analog digital gauges back that we can see, like the RPM turning and so on. So that's cool. And of course, you can also change the views right there, also to a map view. But yeah, of course, we want that, right? Wait a minute. The door is not properly closed. Excuse me, madam.
It's too heavy.
There we go. Also good door closing sound from the... and Leah's outfit also matches the car color, both interior and exterior actually. So yeah, thanks again for camera work. She only has a break when I'm filming the driver POV.
Yes.
Then she can rest a little bit. Then here the main infotainment unit.
Maybe we can
Yeah, Leah's finger look more beautiful than mine.
No.
This is like the climate menu. No, it's not. It's actually the
Yeah, I want
ambient
to,
lighting. It looks like a climate unit, yeah. Yeah, but you can see some of the ambient light in the top there as well. Oh, head-up display. Also got the box right there. Yeah, the climate control directly is always the thing. How can you access it properly? Because, I mean, it's supposed to be you rest your hand here and then I think it's not the ergonomic solution. Talked about it in the normal A5 review. So I think not ideal. It's just too wide, this area here.
This here.
Oh yeah.
Fingerprints here.
Then
oh my God.
Oh. Yeah, that's another thing because then you collect more fingerprints there. For seat heating, seat cooling, you press then here. But like, how am I supposed to do that properly? You know, you need non-human hands for that. Maybe it's like alien design or something like that. Yeah, the infotainment itself is not slow or something. It's actually decent. Some say that they feel it looks like a better mode, you know, when you have it like this. You have high contrast, but it's somehow plain, let's take it that way. However, you can also get different background themes, like here, racetrack Goodwood background scheme. But now comes the, let's call it scam, guys, because you have to buy these in the Audi shop, the background schemes.
No.
Yeah, then here go to check out and then you scan it and then here shopping in the My Audi app. And I was like,
over 100,000.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine, you know, you buy the car then for over 100,000 euros and then you have to pay for background schemes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy, yeah. They look cool. You can also make your own custom ones. Yeah, but...
With your doggo.
With your dog,
kids,
maybe,
yeah.
And very important for this EU speed chime law here, you can deactivate it directly in the infotainment system. This is speed warning, and the other alternative would be here. You can also set it to your favorite button at the steering wheel. Then you can also easily deactivate it. And another thing I'm not such a fan of is the top speed unlocking. They have 3 steps. It starts with 250 kilometers an hour. Then you have to unlock it to 270 kilometers an hour. And then there's a second with the, sport package unlock to 285 kilometers an hour, 177 miles per hour. A 3-step logic for the VMAX? I don't know. I was laughing when I heard that for the first time. However, we also have to be realistic. I was born on the German Autobahn, literally. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Yeah, okay. As a German, you tend to drive a little bit faster on the German Autobahn. But even the 250 kilometers an hour, I don't do that, because there's hardly chance to do that, because there's always something traffic, and not all Autobahn areas are unlimited speed. Most of them are still somewhat limited. And then it's just not safe to drive so fast on public roads. Really have to say that at this point. So I think that the whole VMAX discussion, if you're over 200 kilometers an hour, over 125 miles an hour, it's only for the German market, because everywhere else you can, just in Abu Dhabi, there's one motorway you can drive 160 kilometers an hour, and the rest of the world it's forbidden. The speed limit is maximum 130 kilometers an hour. So I think it's like this, in Germany we say Phantomdiskussion, or phantom discussion. It doesn't really matter. And I think I would have been just fine also with 250 here in this. And even that one, I would not seriously use on German Autobahn, even as a German. Here, the glass roof has this digital shade, let's call it that way. It does not change how much sun intensity comes into the interior. It's more a visual thing and maybe a little bit less blinding, but the car will get hotter anyway. It does have a filter that is just not like see-through glass in that way, but still they always get hotter than with. You can see here the seat moves backward together with the steering wheel. There's like this comfort function here, and then goes forward, steering wheel goes down. So what I'm going to do right now is start up the vehicle so that it stays basically in this. Yeah, thanks for letting the camera run, because sometimes is that the seat stays in position when you have the car running, basically. That's why I want to keep it running. It's not doing that because honestly, this is just like some insight in our everyday's work. This function here is one of the most annoying functions for me. If you're like a normal car customer, you might say, hey, this is a good comfort function. But for me, it's the most annoying feature in all the cars, because it's really against my work, basically. So I always have to search it to deactivate it, because if I would just leave it like this, let's see, seat adjustment, and then I have to start searching like, where is it? Because I want to give like an authentic estimate, like how much space do we have in the rear? And if I would just leave it like this, when the seat goes back, there's no rear legroom left, and it would be like a false assessment of the rear legroom. So I always have to search for it. How can I deactivate this function? And it always takes me so much time. But yeah, it's of course not like representative for a car customer, because usually most car customers appreciate that function. And also quickly that you understand, combustion engine in the front, one electric motor included, additional electric motor at the rear axle for the torque distribution, and then here the battery is placed basically underneath the trunk floor, 22 kilowatt hours net. And also interesting, if you go to the drive selection right here, balanced, it will deplete the battery first. Dynamic, orbit, and sporty driving comfort. You can also change the suspension and so on. Suspension we also got to talk about. And then here the RS driving modes, where you have like the battery safe function, so to speak, and the torque rear is then for drifting. See here only on closed tracks and so on. And nice visualization here, definitely as well. And good point by Leah here. This is how it looks like without the license plate. So in some like US states, it will then look even fancier like this. Here, by the way, the head-up display also has a special mode here where you can also see the this analog style digital RPM meter. That's pretty cool. Then you have it in the head-up display and also in the instruments right here. inside of the doors in the rear is also soft touch and covered on the top part. Microfiber insert, just again plain in the door pockets. And then we have Isofix on the outside seats each. We also have the green or serpentine, they call it, seat belts outside each. Here the middle one is kept black on purpose to make it more like, you know, rather invisible, so to speak. And then also here we can fold out this adaptive cup holders, really nice build quality also for this. And microfiber inserts also for the rear seats here, so that's nice. Really gotta say though here, the animal skin quality, it's just not good. It's not soft. And that's what I'm saying. The high-grade leatherette is a better material, meanwhile. It's just going with technology. It's not taking away something from someone. It's about going with the best technology, state of the art. And also, of course, for the animal's sake. And then here, climate unit in the lower part. And here, seat heating. 2 USB-C chargers. And the offering of space, it is close. It's close. I mean, it does work for 4 tall adults, 5 definitely not. Close here with the leg room still, although I have the seat in now not in the back position. And then here with the headroom with 1A9 6x2, also somewhat close. So you gotta be aware of that, you know. Yeah, and the glass roof doesn't really help with the headroom here then in this case. Now to the trunk or the boot, which is at 330 liters, 360 liters for the Avant. Both have less of liter capacity in comparison to the normal versions. Why is that? The plug-in hybrid battery, the high voltage battery. However, here this still fits in vertically, and Audi says that the loss of liter figure is rather what's underneath here, because here you do have the battery underneath and you cannot fold this up. Just here like a very small compartment for some tools, and that's it. For the normal version you can fold this up and then you have more liter space underneath. The width here, really good, even a little bit more than 1 meter or 40 inches. The length is also more than 1 meter or 40 inches, so more like 1 meter and 742 inches. And I can remove this one here. There we go. And we have even more flexibility. I can go around, fold this then here. And it's very decent length, because here overall, that's interesting. Look at that. Here's like a step down because of the plug-in hybrid. So this is one thing you gotta swallow then in this case. And then here we are at like 1 meter 85 or 72 inches. Very good. The height here is with the sedan or sportback a little bit limited. The maximum height we have right here, which is at about 60 centimeters, 24 inches. And here we have only 30 centimeters or 12 inches. That is then a little bit better with the Avant, with the Estate. And here, quick difference in the Estate, the Avant, you have a little bit more headroom in the rear because the roof is continuing more straight. This is also the version here without the glass roof. So for both the sedan and the Estate, you can get with or without the fixed glass roof. This one in here without. And in both cases, you also have a little bit more headroom here with the Avant, with the Estate in the rear. And of course, interesting to know how is the trunk, the boot of the Estate. Here you can see this electric cover that automatically goes up and down together with that. And here it's actually like in length and width and so on. This is similar. The only thing is here the height. So, and we are here at the maximum height. This is also comparable with the like 60 centimeters, 23 inches. This then the same maximum height. But here, this then the difference. We had the minimum height of about like 30 centimeters, 12 inches with the sedan or sportback. Here it raises even more. So the difference actually here is even more than, so you have less problems when you load some things in, which are also a little bit higher. That's easier than done. And what's also cool here, let me fold that up again, because with the Estate, with the Avant, you also have the remote unlock of the seats. That's of course another feature that comes handy.